Alright, so I'm going to try to run you through this real quick. So this is just starting at the beginning. So I think the biggest thing with this is just getting the layers down. So like with this, this is the song. So song, that's the Dr. Avocado name, and then the game highlights. And that's all on top of a black background. So see as we go forward. Once you get to that, it'll pop up with game highlights, and then that. And so one of the things you'll notice is between these two, there's no transition. I just didn't do a transition on this. It kind of looked cooler, just going straight from the song.
Too complex.
I liked it. And then once you go between these two clips, I did do a transition. That's what this purple thing is. And so the way you make a transition is you click one strip, you hold shift, and you click the second strip. You'll go, for me it's right here, add, go to transition, and then cross. And this will actually, it's dynamic. So like if I decide, okay, I want to back this up a little bit, I can pull it back and it will change with me. I actually did a wipe on that one instead of a cross, but there's different kinds. So do that again, select the two. Actually, hold on. Make sure I get it back where I had it. Go to add. You can do transition, which is cross or wipe. And then there's fade, which is more of like for the beginning and the end, fading in, fading out, that kind of thing. But a cross is just kind of a straight dissolve. And then a wipe kind of has a little, you can kind of see it's got a little, like this was a double, it's called a double wipe, so it went up and down. But you can go over here, you select your transition, you go over here, and it is, oh, right there. Transition type, single, double, iris, clock, just different ways it can look. So like if I did clock, then, let's see. So it just changes the way it's done there. I liked it more as a double, but I think every other one of these is a cross, so it's just a dissolve. So then it goes all the way down to here, and it dissolves just like that. And so that just makes the transitions a little better. Here's where we get a little bit more complicated. So what I did to kind of get this freeze frame effect that happens right there. Right there. So what you do is you take one clip. So we'll just try it on this one. So I usually would let it play until I get to the point that I want. I don't know. I think there's a good point. So like, let's say I want to get that shot right there. So I'm going to hit F12. And it would usually give me the picture right there. I'm assuming because I'm recording, it's a little confused. But so it'll give you a picture here, you go to image, you save it. And then you actually would split this. So the big thing is just make sure this doesn't move. So you split this, you right click and hit split. Boom. Now, I had a transition already over here, so it just moved the transition here, which is a little awkward. But so once you split it, then you can add that picture in the middle, which is what's right here, this orange thing. And you can make that as long as you want. So as long as you want it to be a freeze frame, you just have that one image. So go from that. That's the image I took. And it's going to stay that way the whole time this orange thing's here. Just like that. And so what I have stacked on top of it's that little sound effect, which is the green, and then the text, which is the purple. And then you have all those, and it goes right back into the video. Boom. Transition to the next clip. Nothing special there, just another transition. And then here, yeah, language warning. And you can put these, you see these text boxes are kind of in different layers. It doesn't really matter as long as it's on top of the video clip. Hey, I'm almost done with this video, buddy. So they don't have to be there. You can drag them down, and it's still gonna, as long as it sits on top of the video strip, it will show up. If you go below it, then the video is on top of the text. It won't show. same thing there. We go here, and again, just the text. So this got a little more complex here because I decided to try to do sound effects and text on the rolling clip instead of freeze framing it like I did with the Vigil one. So we got text there. And so for the 1, 2, and 3, I had to make 3 separate layers. So you got the ding, put the 1 up there. And then for the 2, I wanted the 1 to stay there. So I just added another layer. So now you have the 2 sitting on top of the 1's layer, since they're both there. And then same for the 3. They all cut about the same time. Transition. And here, it's kind of the same thing, that freeze frame. So F12, took a picture, then split the clip at that exact moment. So like this clip here and this one here, they, like if I butted them straight up together, you wouldn't even notice the split. But because I took that picture, I can make this last as long as I want. I just wanted it to last just as long as that little audio clip. So I put it too long. Just like that, and it goes right back. It gets down to here, a little more text, as you can see. A little more text. Same thing with audio clip and text. So you see on the other one I had the text on the top, audio on the bottom. Doesn't matter, just as long as it's above the picture. There, text. This took me forever, the speeding up. I'm honestly not entirely sure I can walk you through this because I don't know if I could reproduce it today. From what I understand, so I split the track again right here. Pretty much I split it from where I wanted the speed up to stop, or to start, to where I wanted it to stop. So technically this is supposed to be down here, but it put it up there for some reason. And then you go to add, go to effect strip and speed control, and that gives you this little bar. Now I watched a bunch of videos on this and it's honestly really confusing. So I did the speed factor of 3, but then what it did was, which maybe, no, I don't know. So the speed factor I wanted to speed it up by a factor of 3. But the problem I ran into was it didn't shorten the clip, it didn't shorten the clip by a third, like I thought it would. Because that to me that makes sense. If I make it 3 times as fast, it should be 3 times as short. But what it did after I split it here was it just extended this to the rest of the clip. So I pretty much had the entire clip at 3 speed, and then when I went back to this cut, it just went all the way back, which was really annoying. So I actually had to do the math, which was annoying because math on a day when I don't have to use it is just not my thing. So pretty much what I had to do, let's see, was somewhere. Can't remember where it was now. Time. Okay. So the duration. So like for this one, the duration was 11:26. So what I did was I took that number, and which that wasn't the right number for this clip, but pretty much I took that number and I tried to I googled factors of 11:26, and one of the factors for that clip was 3, which is why I did 3 times speed, because I didn't want to have like a decimal frame. I wanted whole numbers. So one of the factors was 3. So I knew by speeding it up by 3, I could then divide the total number of frames by 3, and then make that the duration of the clip. Now, is that super clunky? Yes, it is. But that's how I had to get it to work, and it did. Now there's a little bit, and where that really came to bite me is right here. I don't know if you can see. There's a little hitch right there because I didn't line them up perfectly, which is unfortunate, but it was small enough it didn't bother me too bad. That was by far the most complicated part of this video. Another transition, another transition. I don't remember what this is. Oh, this is the it's the F-bomb. So I did the same thing. For some reason I put the audio on the bottom. It doesn't matter. Either there or there. Somewhere, just somewhere there. Text does have to be on the top though. But because I didn't want you to hear the word that he said, I once again split the clip right here, and then split the clip at the end where I wanted the sound to come back in, and then I just muted the audio for this one, for this clip. And you and I talked about making like the meta strip where you have the video and the audio. So I actually had to go in here, hit unmeta strip, or no wait, go in here and hit tab, yeah, which lets you edit the strip that's within the meta strip, which is, like I said, we're starting to get a little complicated. But you have your audio and your video. So I went to the audio and I made the volume 0. So the video would play, but the audio wouldn't. Now why I had to do that, I thought I could just right click and then it says lock mute and you can hit mute strip. I thought perfect. But if you mute it, the video actually doesn't play in the final render either. So it doesn't work. So that's why I had to do that. So it rolls right back into that. And then
Too complex.
this is pretty straightforward. I did a cross at the end between, you can actually do it between the video clip and a color. So just as long as you click one, you should click the other. So the one you click first will be the first thing you see, and it will fade into the second.
Too complex.
So like here, you see this fades to black. Boom.
Too complex.
And I believe that's it. If you have any more questions, just let me know.